Ntr Television from Ankara in Turkey. We are back in the agriculture segment. Today in our agriculture segment, I'm going to take you to the northwest of Turkey in Istanbul. Many people, you know Istanbul as a business city, as a very interesting city, but today I'm taking you to Istanbul in Sabancı University for agricultural learning today. Today we are going to visit Sabancı University. We will meet different professors, we will meet different experts in agriculture. Please, I beg you to be in touch with us and go with me in Sabancı University. In our today's segment, we are having a professor, we are having an expert. You allow me to allow him to introduce yourself. Welcome to Ntr Television. You can start introducing yourself to our viewers.
Thank you very much that you are visiting us in Istanbul at Sabancı University. So my name is İsmail Çakmak, working at the Sabancı University. I am plant nutritionist. My expertise is focusing on nutritional physiology, uptake, transport, and deposition of nutrients, particularly micronutrients in crop plants.
Welcome once again on Ntr Television. We are very happy to be with you today. It's our pleasure to learn more about plant nutrition, different works you are doing here. We visited you here in your laboratories, in your greenhouses. It looks really amazing. Allow me to start by asking, how long have you been doing this work?
I made my PhD in Germany at Stuttgart-Hohenheim University. So it was 88, 89. So since that time, I am working on plant nutrition, particularly on micronutrients. My main interest was in zinc nutrition of the crop plants. In recent years, I focused more, besides zinc, on boron and magnesium. And we are also working on nutritional quality of the food crops. You know, hidden hunger, micronutrient deficiency, a very common problem in the world, particularly in Africa. When I say hidden hunger, I mean zinc deficiency, iron deficiency, iodine deficiency, selenium deficiency. More or less 1/3 of world population affected from micronutrient deficiency. So it's a huge problem, and health problem, also economical problem. And there are some reports published by World Bank saying that up to 5% of gross domestic product is lost just because of micronutrient deficiency. So one of our main projects, let's say, that we are doing at Sabancı University, focusing on hidden hunger problem. And the question is, what agriculture can do to minimize, to reduce the extent of micronutrient deficiency in the world. And the project that we are doing right now called Harvest Plus Harvesting Project. But I need to say that we are not focusing on nutritional quality, but we are also working on crop production, food security. So there are some nutrients which are missing, which are low in soils. When you grow your plants in those crops, you may have nutrient deficiency. You may have poor growth, poor yield. One of those nutrients that we are interested in is boron. So boron is also important for human nutrition, but boron deficiency is also very important micronutrient deficiency in agricultural soils, in crop production.
That's really amazing. I think today our viewers are going to exploit a lot of things. Imagine someone from 1990, from 88, is still in this field. We are going to get a lot of, I told them, as you mentioned boron, in our last segment, we were in the eastern part of Turkey, in Ordu. We visited some fields where they are using boron, and in collaboration with Maden. So I would like to hear from you, as someone who is interested, who has been in this field for some back years, to get some information about boron from you and the work you are doing in collaboration with Maden in their.
You know, boron is micronutrients. So micronutrients means so plants need little amount of that nutrients compared to nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, etc. But the relevance, the importance of boron is almost same like nitrogen, like the importance of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. So boron deficiency, probably after zinc deficiency, most well-known, most widespread micronutrient deficient crop plants in agricultural soils. So you can have boron deficiency in high pH soils. You may have boron deficiency in low pH soils, so acidic soils. Yeah. So there are three reasons why plants may have boron deficiency problem. Number one, in low pH soils. Low pH soils because have usually leaching problem. So you may have boron in the soils, but boron might be leached from soil profile. Or in low pH soils, liming is very common practice, agronomic practice. You know, farmers apply lime to correct the pH, to improve the production, plant growth. But we need to be aware that liming, application of calcium carbonate, lime, or dolomite may induce boron deficiency. So in acidic soils, you may have boron deficiency problem because the soils might be absolutely deficient boron, number one. Number two, boron might be lost from soil profile. This is number two. And the number three is a reason why low pH soils may show boron deficiency is related to the liming. Liming, when you correct the pH, when you increase the pH from low to high, then boron is absorbed, fixed, immobilized in the soils, then your plants may have boron deficiency. This is one major reason for boron deficiency in low pH soils. But in high pH soils, in alkaline, the pH is high and alkaline pH, in those soils, boron is absorbed, fixed by soil clay minerals, for example. And this is one of the main reasons why in high pH soils we may have boron deficiency. And probably the third and more relevant, more interesting reason is following. Your plants may have boron. The plants may have sufficient boron, but still your plants may show boron deficiency. You know why? Boron is one of the elements among all elements that show very low mobility in the plants. The boron that exists in those leaves may not move to the shoot tip. If you have marginal deficiency problem, let's say in the soils, but you, for example, you spray boron, okay, you can correct. Let's say right now these plants have boron deficiency, and you spray boron, yeah, you can correct the boron deficiency in those current plants, but the plant's still growing. Yes. They may make flower, yeah, and the boron that exists in the leaves may not move to the youngest part of the plants, new growth. The new growth cannot get boron from the older leaves. So I am trying to say boron deficiency is also a physiological problem. Although plants have boron, but boron cannot move in most of the plant species, cannot move from the leaves to youngest part of the plants, to the seeds, to the flowers. Sometimes you look at the plants, you can say, yeah, plants are okay, there is no problem with boron deficiency, but still you may have very low yield because boron that exists in the leaves may not move to the youngest plant, to the flower. Pollination process. Yeah. Pollination process, seed setting. Pollination needs huge amount of boron. So exactly during the generative growth stage, during the flowering time, plants need extra boron. The physiological demand for boron of the plant is very high during the flowering time, during the pollination time. And at this time, if the plants are not able to deliver boron from the leaves to the seeds, to the flowers, then you may have very low yield because of poor, impaired pollination process.
I see. It's really amazing. But in that case, with this work, I would like to know how do you define where to use boron and when to use it, and with which basis, with the basis do you based on? And you say the boron is needed here, here it's not needed.
One of the way to answer your question, or one of the way to define whether my plants need boron or not, is soil test. Yeah, soil analysis. There are several methods. One of the common methods is hot water extraction. I mean, you can extract the soils with certain solution. One of them is hot water. And after extraction, when this method say, yeah, this soil has less than 0.5 ppm boron or 0.3 ppm boron, then the plants may need boron. But I need to say something. This is very important. Today, in many countries, region, farmers, growers pay huge attention to soil tests. You know, normally a farmer should look also the plants.
The plant cell.
They need to talk to plants. They need to ask the plants. I am trying to say, not only soil tests, we need also tissue analysis, leaf analysis. So the second way, the other way to understand whether my plants need boron is tissue analysis. So therefore I say we need to talk to plants. We need to listen to plants and analyze the leaves, leaf tissue, and then look, hey, what is the boron concentration? There are some critical deficiency concentration, sufficient concentration. Based on this critical deficiency concentration, you can say, my plants need boron or not. So soil test combined with leaf test was the best way to understand whether my fields, whether my plants need boron.
Wow, it's amazing. And within this work of boron, especially here in Turkey, we have Ntr Maden. Do you work? I am sure you work hand in hand with them. To which extent do you work? To which extent do you work with them? What are the projects are you running? Are you running together by now? And what are the other countries are you really working now hand in hand with Ntr Maden?
Yeah, last year we started a research collaboration with Ntr Maden, and we are just in the first year of this collaboration. And you know, Turkey has up to 70%, 75% of the global, boron reserves exist in Turkey. So, and Ntr Maden, number one organization producing boron-based products. So one of those boron-related or boron-based fertilizer. So, you know, as I told you, boron is one of the common micronutrient deficiency in agricultural soils, and particularly in low pH soils. But again, we may also have in high pH soils, and also because of physiological reasons, plants may have also boron deficiency. So the question is, yes, the plants have boron deficiency because the condition is very different. Low pH, high pH, soil type is different, soil chemical, physical properties are different. It is correct to apply one form of boron products in those fertilizers. It's not. Because boron, the question was, should we apply only one form of boron to the plants? No, because of, as I said, that the soils are very diverse, very different in terms of soil type, in terms of soil organic matters, in terms of soil pH. You know, today in the market, fertilizer market, most of the boron fertilizer, this is very important what I am saying right now, is soluble. Soluble boron product. Usually soluble fertilizer more desirable because the effect is immediate. But I need to say such soluble boron products or soluble in general, soluble fertilizer are usually much better in high pH soils. But when you go to low pH soils, in case of boron for example, you may have leaching risk. If the boron is highly soluble, as I said today in fertilizer market, most of the boron products available in the market is almost all those products are soluble. The higher the solubility, the higher the risk with leaching. Okay, but those products could be good in high pH soils. But in low pH soils, we need to be careful what type of boron products we need. Yeah? And in the framework of Maden project, one of the research tasks is related to leaching risk of those available boron products. And you know, when you have low pH soils, probably you need less soluble boron products. And one of the concept is, hey, let's develop a boron product, fertilizer. 50% of that product is less soluble, other 50% is soluble product. So Maden, in the meantime, developed several products with different solubility percentage. We have boron products, 100% soluble. We have boron products, 75% soluble, 25% less soluble, or 50-50, or 75% soluble, 25% less soluble, or 100% less soluble. Those products, compared to other well-known products, we are testing in greenhouse, we are testing in different countries. So today, almost in 10 countries, we are studying the impact, agronomic effectiveness of different boron products on the plant growth, on leaching risk, on also some seeds safety experiments we have also. Because you know, when you make a mistake and apply a high boron, you may damage the seeds, you may damage the seedlings, and therefore less soluble boron products, particularly in low pH soils, might be interesting to avoid any risk to seed, any risk to the seedlings, because highly soluble boron products may damage in low pH soils, particularly the seed germination. Therefore, less soluble boron products, let's say 50% soluble, 50% less soluble, might be interesting. We are not 100% sure. We are testing, but there are some recent papers indicating, hey, be careful with solubility, because highly soluble boron products may damage the seeds. Highly soluble boron products might be leach or prone to leaching. So one of the products, now I am coming to another important part, one of those products which have less solubility is, and very relevant to use in agriculture, is colmanite. Colmanite is really one of the very relevant product as a less soluble boron product. And Maden started to produce new boron formulation containing 50% or 25% colmanite. And those products are being tested in this greenhouse. And we are checking what is the absorption of boron from those products by the plants, what is the leaching, to what extent those products damage the seeds, damage the seedlings. So our aim is to develop most safe products in terms of leaching, in terms of seed damage. So this is the main target of this Maden project. But also additionally, of course, we are trying to increase the awareness about the importance of boron deficiency in crop production, in different agricultural soils.
Exactly, that hit my jackpot, because within this project, you are having this greenhouse, and I would like, before we go to the other countries where you are just doing the test, carrying out the research, I want to know, first of all, here in this greenhouse you are just like owning right now, to which extent, with how efficient is the work you are doing here? What are the results you are seeing? How are they compared to the way you started, when you started to by now, the different substances, different fertilizers, colmanite, boron, 67, 8.67. What are the percentages and the result that you are getting by now?
So you know, greenhouse trials highly helpful for us to go to field. So we learn a lot from greenhouse trials in terms of solubility of the fertilizer in the soils, in terms of absorption of the fertilizer nutrients by the roots, and in terms of leaching, in terms of absorption, fixation of the boron products by the soil minerals, clay minerals, etc. So before we move to fields, we learn from greenhouses a lot to implement those knowledge, those experience in field. So those fertilizers that you see here in the greenhouse, really very helpful for us to design more reasonable trials, target-oriented trials in the field, in South Africa, in Ethiopia, in Uganda, in China, in India, Ukraine, Turkey, and Brazil. Those are 10 countries. 10 countries. I repeat, Brazil, South Africa, Ethiopia, Uganda, Malaysia, China, India, Thailand, Ukraine, and Turkey. Those are 10 countries, our target countries, and in these countries we are focusing on target crops. For example, in Malaysia, oil palm. In China, tea, canola, oil seed, and in Ukraine, sugar beet, sunflower. Turkey, potatoes, hazelnut, tea, sunflower. In Brazil, we are focusing on sugarcane, soybean, eucalyptus, coffee. In South Africa, our target crop is grape. In Ethiopia, our target crop is coffee. In Uganda, our target crop, common bean. So in every country, the most relevant stable food crops in most cases, and sometimes strategically, economically important crops, are our target crops. In those countries, we apply 7, 8 different boron products to soil, to foliar, to see which one is more effective in terms of better production, in terms of better yield, also in terms of the leaching risk.
Yes, and now you see it's a global research. And you know, in research, you don't ask for the result when the research is not yet over. But I am curious to know, like, how is it? How do you see the work you're doing? You are in Malaysia, in China, in Africa, and is there hope that soon or later we are going to have this research you are doing confirmed, and everyone is going to run it to the market and go buy some borones and use them in their farmers and the farmers? How is the work? To which extent is the research you are on?
These programs is first focus on the science, on research. So the relation to collaboration with farmers, growth will probably follow. But I need to say, in those countries that I mentioned, we have collaborators. Either university or national research institute. For example, in Brazil, we are collaborating with Sao Paulo University. In South Africa, Stellenbosch University. In Uganda, National Research Institute. In Thailand, in Chiang Mai University. In Ukraine, academy, agricultural academy. In Turkey, university and national agricultural research institutions. In Malaysia, Putra University. In China, different universities, because we have 3 collaborators. And in India, Punjab Agriculture University. So our collaborators are either universities or national research institutions. This is the first year. We started very recently, first with greenhouses, then field trials. I think after 2-3 years, we will be able to say, hey, farmers, growers, pay attention to those boron formulation, to those boron products, if your field, if your plants have boron deficiency problem. And I need to also say, if you apply too much boron, you may also kill the plants. You may have the boron toxicity problem. So one of the tasks of our program to say, hey, at what extent we need to be apply those products. We need to avoid any boron damage. We need to avoid boron toxicity problem. So it doesn't mean boron apply as much as apply. No, be careful with the rate. Therefore, ask the plants, hey, what is the amount of boron that you need? Therefore, leaf tissue analysis. Therefore, soil test, soil analysis, very important to optimize boron fertilization to see how much boron is needed by the plants.
Yeah, it's amazing, very, very amazing. We are learning so much. Before we pass over your greenhouse and look for the whole work you are doing, I have another question of curiosity. For me, you know, if I manage to meet someone who has been in agriculture for this more than 20 years to almost 30 years, and someone who has that experience, and I know agriculture, food production is one of the most need of human race from the east to the west, from north to the south. We need it. And I'm like, I would like to hear, with this experience you have been having, with the whole experience, what is your advice to the whole world, to our viewers in Africa, to our viewers in Europe, in all parts of the world, about what they can be doing by right now, about food production, plant nutrition? What is by your experience, what is your advice to all our viewers?
You know, the question you raise is very important because it's a global issue. You know, today, agriculture has been made just to produce more.
Yeah.
So in crop production, in agriculture, in plant breeding programs, look past 50 years, 100 years, the main focus was produce more. It is correct. I mean, we need to produce more, because in many parts of the countries, many parts of the world, we have low production. Still today, 800 million people affected from hunger problem. 800 million people, mainly, of course, developing world, developing countries. But very little attention has been paid in the past to the nutritional value, nutritional quality of the product that we produce. The main interest was produce more. So what you produce is actually starch, carbohydrates. Almost 70-75% of the grain, for example, is starch. The nutritional value, nutritional quality of such type of food, grain, is very low. You fill the stomach, but you can avoid the hunger problem. Remember, I said 800 million people starving, and then have a hunger problem, absolute hunger problem. So you can find solution to that problem. I mean, by having an efficient distribution at global level of the foods. But we need to remember, we need to know that today 2 billion, some people say 3 billion people affected from hidden hunger problem. I mean, your stomach's full. Yeah. So you have sufficient food on the table, and you eat sufficiently, but still you are hungry. Hungry in micronutrients. Yeah. Your body is low. Your body is deficient in zinc, in selenium, in iodine, in iron. So hidden hunger. I will not minimize 800 million hunger problem, but we need to also consider. We need to also take into consideration that today also 2 billion people at least affected from hidden hunger problem. So my message, my point is here. Hey, people, yes, improve the yield, produce more grain, but at the same time, produce grain with high quality, with high amount of micronutrients, with high amount of iron, zinc, vitamin A, and therefore one of our eyes should look also nutritional value, nutritional quality of the product, of the agriculture products.
Thank you very much. This is a call upon. This is a call up from the professor who has been in this field for years and years. Is calling you to take care of the You are producing more, but you produce quality. Produce the one that is going to solve the problem of hunger, but also even the problem of the hidden hunger. So we thank you very much for this opportunity to share with you. Before we are going to visit the greenhouse. We shall see all the work is being done here. What are the crops are being treated here? Which substances are being used here? So we call upon you to follow us as long as we are visiting the greenhouse. We thank you very much.
I thank you also for your visit, and I'm happy to have you here. And I need to also thank Maden for supporting our boron program in Turkey and also in 10 countries in the world.
Thank you very much. We go on by the visit. So here we are already in this greenhouse trial, and we would like to know how many crops do you have? Do you treat here in this trial, and what are the main product of boron are you using?
In this particular experiment, we are working on sunflower and soybean. Those plants need really high amount of boron, particularly sunflower. Yes. But we have also plants which have usually lower need of boron, like maize, like wheat. Yes. So we are testing here different boron products. Yes. For example, boric acid, borax, 80.67, yes. Etibor 48, ulexide and colmonite, and their combination.
Oh, the combination of them.
Also, we have also a combination of colmonite with borax, colmonite with etibor 48, also ulexide combination with colmonite to see how those different boron products affect the plant growth in soils with low pH, in soils with high pH. So pH effect, plant effect, leaching, absorption, fixation, seed germination effect, seed safety experiment. Those experiments are ongoing in this greenhouse.
So can we know which plants have been used with which substance have you used? Like, for example, we are having this one. Which one are you using for 8.67? Which one are you
actually they are in early stage of the growth. Yes. And here every 4-5 pots receive same products, and also we have rates. Yeah. So rates, I mean low amount, medium amount, and high amount. I will show you later on. We are also working toxicity problem. After which concentration boron damaging plants, and at which leaf concentration of boron plants start to develop boron toxicity problem. So we are not just focusing on deficiency range or sufficiency range, but we are also understanding after which concentration, at which form, boron also may be detrimental, toxic. This is also important information for growers, for fertilizer industry.
Yes. So we can just move around and see all the different products. Oh, this is the soybean?
This is soybean. Yes. I am not sure whether our friends can focus on these symptoms. You see here, leaf margins damage. This is a typical, let's say, boron damage problem in the plants. Yes. Usually leaf margins, like here. So you get a brown coloration. Necrotic patch on the leaf margins, on older leaves, on fully expanded leaves. These are typical symptoms of boron toxicity. And this problem may also happen under other deficiency or toxicity of the nutrients to understand whether it is boron toxicity or toxicity or deficiency of other nutrients, then you need a leaf tissue analysis. So for example, this is the plants with excess of boron. We intentionally we apply too much boron to see how boron damage develop in the plants. We have also deficiency experiments, to show the growers, to show the end users how boron deficiency symptoms develop in the plants. So in about 4 or 5 months, we will be able to develop a manual, boron nutrition manual, boron nutrition of the plants manual. And in this manual, in this, let's say, book, and we will have 10 crops, strategically important 10 crops. For those crops, we will develop and make available how boron deficiency symptoms develop on the leaves, on the roots, and how boron toxicity affect the plants. So we develop visual material for growers to see, to recognize how boron deficiency develop in the plants, and what is the deficiency and sufficiency concentration of boron in those 10 crops.